Hello and welcome back. In the previous video, we looked at job analysis, where you went out and found a job description that was in line with the job that you hope to have sometime in the near future. In this video, we're going to build upon that. We're going to talk about mastery of the critical task, as well as mastery of performance level. So let's begin. Now that we have found a job description that is really specific to the job that we want to have in the near future, let's take another step further. So by looking at that job description, we were able to pull out the key competencies and critical tasks that was necessary for us to obtain and possess if we would like to have that job. These are the critical things that an employer are going to be looking for in us to see if we're actually the person that's adequate for that job. So now we want to look at the flip side of that. And so now that we already have this job description, let's go out and find someone who's already serving in this capacity to look at where are they at in their competency levels. One place that you might want to look at is LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a great resource to go out and find someone who's already serving in the capacity of the job that we would like to have. Another place that we can look is visualcv.com. Visualcv.com shows resumes as well as curriculum vitae of individuals who are serving in a particular job as well as industry. One last option that we might have is to pick up the telephone and personally interview someone who's already serving that capacity. To ask them what are the soft skills that they have found necessary for that job, and how would they rank the proficiency that's needed for that competency in order to do their job adequately. Now that we're on LinkedIn as an example, in a previous video I used the example of searching for a job for plant manager. So I'm going to use that same search within LinkedIn and I'm going to look for plant manager. We should find, as part of our search, a few different people or persons serving in that capacity. I only want to select one. In selecting that person, I begin to look on their CV, resume, and the tasks that they're doing in that capacity serving as a plant manager to find out what soft skills do they have on there showing that they're proficient at their job, as well as what level are they performing at. An example might be communication, as we talked about in the previous video, as being a soft skill competency that's critical for a job of a plant manager. So in discovering that, does a plant manager just have to have the ability to be able to communicate via flip chart? Or should I be a little bit more proficient and look at PowerPoint or something like Prezio? Am I going to be able to just get away with writing emails, short memos, or would my employer expect me to be able to give an executive summary and maybe even a presentation to the board of directors? So as I begin to look over this particular resume or CV that I found on LinkedIn or one of those other websites, I want you to use the same process that we learned in a previous video, how to pull out or extract the key competencies that are going to be needed for this job. Secondly, what I want to talk about is, how do I rank? Am I already there? So if I look at a plant manager, it has to be very proficient in oral as well as written communications. How do I rank myself up against these skills? Am I already there? Do I need some improvement? Or am I good to go? And so you might want to think about a traffic light being red light, yellow light, green light. Red means I have no experience. Yellow means I might have a little bit but need to improve. And green might mean I'm proficient exactly where I'm at. Next, I want to look at this person. Have they demonstrated some evidence of their mastery? And how do we do that? So on a LinkedIn CV or resume, they might have said, well, I have evidence because I have led a particular department. I have improved an department. I have reduced costs within that department. I was able to show my problem-solving skills as evident of X, Y, and Z. So I want to begin to look at myself as well. out of these competencies that I have recognized as being needed for this particular job, do I have any evidence? I might have evidence within a portfolio. I might have some awards that I can also show proof of, as well as I want to know what quality, how do I quantify these performance levels? Have I had a performance review by a boss? Have my peers evaluated me? Or have I had some type of expert evaluation? So let's recap. What have we learned? In part of our analysis and doing a self-reflection, I want to add on to being able to locate a job description, but now also match that job description with someone who's already serving in that capacity. And based upon their resume or CV, I begin to extrapolate the competencies that they are proficient at. How do I know that they are proficient? Once I have discovered that, now I begin to reflect on myself personally. Do I also have the same proficiency? Or do I need to improve upon this proficiency? And how do I have evidence of that? Have someone give me awards? Do I have an e-portfolio? How do I show someone proof that I'm proficient at this particular competency? In our next video, we will move on to be able to look more at metrics. How can I measure my competencies, my critical skills, as well as my performance level? Thank you.